Gentlemen, we are back with Kṣaṇāti again, and this is part 3 of the Saturn-Ketu conjunction. In the first part, he beautifully explained what things can happen during this conjunction. And in second part, I was just sharing some of my experiences, and he also shared about the eclipses. So if you have not watched it, then please go and watch. Okay, interesting, both the parts. So now he's going to share some details about conjunctions, like he was saying last time I stopped him. Please continue.
They always give certain names to certain conjunctions, like different astrologers, and there are different gurus, curses, Guru Chandal, and Saturn-Ketu, when I was learning astrology, was one of these guru curses. I
Oh.
think I am very against fear-based astrology. So I don't believe that we should ever say anything a curse. Everything we receive from our karma is a blessing, even though we do not experience it this way. It's not fair to call it a curse. But so I like to come up with funny names, new names that we can understand these energy. And I think of Saturn and Ketu as the karmic bounty hunter, because all of our misdeeds, our immoral actions, our unethical behavior, we accumulate karmic debt. This is like a bank account, okay? So we have a karmic debt bank account, and with every immoral or unethical action that we take, or adharmic against dharmic action that we take, we contribute money to the bank account of our karmic debt. Now, Saturn and Ketu, when I believe they're together, they come to collect the debt.
Oh, interesting.
They're coming to say, you've accumulated this difficult karmic debt, and now it's time to pay the piper, which means the bounty hunter that comes to get you. In America, there's this ridiculous show called Dog the Bounty Hunter. And basically, there are these different people on the show that have committed crimes, and they owe money, and they didn't come to court. And when you don't come to court, not always the police force can go send you to go pick up the person. So there's a bounty that the person receives if they go and collect the person.
Okay, interesting.
So this dog, the bounty hunter person, would show up to the person's house with guns and a huge squad, and he would say, "You're coming to jail. You're coming to court." So similarly, Sagittarius is the sign of law. Sagittarius is the sign of the legal system. Purvashada is a nakshatra, which is associated with the legal system. So there is this energy here of the bounty for the legal system. So it is a very, very bad time to commit crime, because the consequences being so severe with this bounty hunter, debt collector energy of Saturn and Ketu. But if you're leading righteous life, this could be the most positive time for spiritual emancipation, to remove all the parts of yourself which are no longer serving you. But as Bhabajeet mentioned, we have to surrender our desires. We have to surrender our plans. But you know, a lot of time the people have collected this karmic debt. And this is one thing that we've already seen with Saturn in Purvashada. Because Bill Cosby go to jail for all of his, he commits sexual violence against women. Also, there's been a lot of energy which is saying that there is sexual perversion in the Catholic Church. These are all things which are bubbling to the surface. I think that these things are going to hit a climax, which means all of the truth, all of the debt, and trust me, what the church has been doing is a karmic debt which they've been collecting, and eventually they are going to have to pay that price. And I think that's one of the things that's coming here. But for us, for individuals, we have Purvashada in our chart. We have planets in Sagittarius in our chart. What karmic debt do we owe? What secrets do we have? What illegal things do we kind of do in our own privacy, but are not willing to admit to everyone that we do? So these are different things which are coming, but I believe there is a debt collection, a bounty collection of Saturn and Ketu, but it's our karmic debt. It's our karmic debt which we're having to now take accountability for, take responsibility for.
Yes, and what I also feel is regarding this transit, especially happening in Sagittarius, which is the original ninth house of the zodiac. So wherever Sagittarius can be, but I've seen that, that feeling of that need of that guru and that higher things, it is always there in Sagittarius, irrespective of that house. So what I see regarding this Sagittarius transit is that now whenever Ketu transits any sign, I have seen that your beliefs regarding that sign and your own self, that's tested, because Ketu also shows, past life karma. So it can happen that in the past, whatever you had done in the area of spirituality, because ninth house is spirituality, that can be tested. And because of this Rahu and Mars, in Gemini, it can happen that you get some allurements, and then you have a choice, as you said now, that it's a great time to, it's a very bad time to commit some wrong, something illegal. So it can happen that we get that temptation, but then we have to use our spiritual practices like daily meditation and reading of our holy books and meeting our gurus, and maintaining a good lifestyle, a sattvic lifestyle. We have to use those tricks and techniques by which we can actually be in Sagittarius and not end up going into Gemini. Because Rahu has this tendency to pull you. I always see that wherever Rahu is, he will pull you that side. And the funny thing is that they say that Rahu is exalted in Gemini. And they say that Ketu is also exalted in Sagittarius. Some say he's exalted in the sign of Scorpio, and some say that his Mula Trikona is Pisces. But irrespective of that, the sign of Sagittarius deals with spirituality. So now what could happen is that if you have made some show business of your spiritual practices, like in many places it happens, and especially in India this happens, and I don't mean to intend to offend anybody, I'm just sharing my experience. Like in India, there are many people who have, the show guru. Show guru means once in a year, what they will do is they will invite their guru to their home, and then they will call 20 relatives. And in front of them, they will show that, oh, Guruji, I am giving you, 1 lakh rupee donation. 1 lakh rupees around, I guess, 1300 euros or 1500 USD, around that. You know, so once in a year they will give some donation, and they will, take the photo, and they'll take some selfies. So it's like a show guru. And that guru is also such a funny guru. I mean, he's not a guru, but if he just comes and sits, he will just say sab shubh hoga. He will just give the hand like this, everything will be okay. But he's not able to guide you through the knowledge of the scriptures. He's not able to enlighten you, that thing which is there, that enlightenment, which is the main aim of a guru, that he may not be able to provide. But what you are doing is you just use him as a showpiece, because in India till today, I mean, if you are a bit religious or spiritual, then people think, oh, he's like a very good person, he's a elevated person, he has material desires, but oh, he talks of God and spirituality, he's like a big person, his consciousness is very high. So then you get a lot of name, fame, praise, and all such stuff, within the society, if you conduct some big spiritual program. So now if you have been doing that, and I know many people in my group also who do that sometimes. So then you need to be careful there, because it can happen that, that show business, that showbiz which you are doing there, that could be exposed, or the guru who comes, he might face some accusation. These kind of things can happen. This is what I feel. Because, or if suppose you have some guru or you have a spiritual practice, then what is your commitment to that practice? Are you doing it every day? Are you doing it every morning or every evening? Whatever you are supposed to do, whatever yoga or asana or pranayam or whatever you are doing. I mean, not the physical yoga I'm saying, which is Ashtanga yoga, but any yogic process. There are many people who are doing kriya yoga these days. Many people are into bhakti yoga. Many people are into Ashtanga yoga. So whatever spiritual practice you have, now is the time, I think, you will be doing a reality check on yourself, that okay, is this what I am supposed to do, or am I supposed to do something else? That's what I think is going to happen, because this is in Sagittarius.
I think that's beautiful. I think the show guru, as you put it, he accumulates a lot of karmic debt. Nothing,
Yeah.
nothing is more deceptive than the false guru. So this is something that if those false gurus, they are going to have to pay their debt too.
Yeah. And those people who click selfies, they also. And another thing which I felt regarding Purvashada is that, like, for Jyeshtha Nakshatra, we have that story, when in Srimad Bhagavatam it is mentioned that Indra kills Vritrasura, and later on the sins, haunt him very much. And then they say that in Mula Nakshatra, that's the time when you are being challenged by those haunts of your past. But in Purvashada, when you come, they say that he does penance over a lotus, to get free from his sins. So this is the time where, if you are already doing some spiritual practices, it's great. But this is the time that we need to, as they say in Hindi, na, dose बढ़ा दो. Increase the, that power. If you are doing maybe one mala of any mantra, you do it two malas. Or if you are doing 10, do it 14 or 16. If you, whatever you are doing, increase the dose, because now the universe is telling it is time to cleanse. So if you do it now, if you do things more rigorously on the higher front, then you will see great results, I mean.
Yeah, and in the same spirit of Bhabajeet said, when it comes to these practices, um, it's a very good time to formalize the sadhana, which means to make your spiritual practices everyday spiritual practices. It's also a very good time to formalize relationship with a specific lineage or a specific guru. But we talked about the false guru. So also with the Rahu Mars aspect, the person who you think is a guru might not really be in its ultimate sense, in the ultimate side, a real guru. And we've seen this a lot of time with different gurus, the scandals, whether it's
Yes.
perversion or this thing or that thing. That's something which I is important to mention is too. So yes, it's a great time to formalize your religious tradition, your spiritual practices, your lineage, but make sure that that is pure. Because if it is not, you are going to go down with it. You're going to go down with whatever the false lineage is. For example, there was the Bikram yoga person, and then he committed sexual perverse acts, and then now everyone who does Bikram yoga is associated with that act of the Bikram yogi who committed the sexual violence. So this is
Okay.
just an example, but you have to be careful with the false guru, the show guru, because you will go down in the fire with them.
Yeah, and even in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is the story of Putana. In fact, one of my gurus, he was telling me that when Krishna was there in Vrindavan, he had killed so many demons. But it's very interesting. When we read, we will think, oh, he killed Shaktasur, this Asur, that Asur, Putana, and that's all. End of the story. But it's not like this actually. Every demon which Krishna had killed in Vrindavan when he was small shows one weakness which we have. And we discussed about this false guru thing. And then they say that he told me that Putana was that lady. She was that Rakshasi, that she was that female demon who actually was sent by Kamsa, Krishna's uncle, that you go and feed Krishna your breast milk, and she had poison in her breast. So whenever Krishna, because Krishna was a very infant, he was extremely small that time. So when Krishna drinks it, then he will die. But then what happened was, you cannot just enter like this, everybody will catch you. So she dressed herself as beautiful as goddess Lakshmi, it is said. In
Mm-hmm.
Bhagavatam, it is there in 10th canto.
Mm-hmm.
And when the people of Vrindavan, they saw her, they started thinking that, wow, maybe she's Lakshmi only. She's so beautiful. Beautiful, not like, in a way to enjoy, but she was looking very graceful, elegant. She was looking like a mother. So everybody in Vrindavan felt that my child should drink milk from her breasts. Then they will become very empowered. They'll become very strong. But then Krishna came, and then Yashoda, Krishna's mother, told her that please, please, please come and feed milk to my child, and that's what she wanted. And then Krishna, as soon as he saw her, it is said that Krishna closed his eyes. And there are 8 reasons why Krishna closed his eyes. Those 8 reasons we will discuss some other time. I mean, one reason was that Krishna was feeling very unhappy that this is the first demon I will kill in this avatar. And unfortunately, she's a woman. So my killing will start with ladies. So Krishna was like, oh, I didn't want this. And there are many other reasons, of course. So, and then later on, she tried that Krishna drinks her milk. And then when Krishna started drinking, then Krishna started sucking her, pran, the life air. And then what happens is interesting thing. She changed her form into a beautiful damsel when she came. But when she was she was unable to bear Krishna. Then her original form came out, and there's a description how long she was. Some say she was 8 miles, some say she was 11 miles long. That was her height. And she expanded, and Krishna is still touching her breasts, and he's just sucking out her life here, and then ultimately she falls down to the ground dead. So that is one very important lesson, that when God comes, he can rip off these false tendencies. And false guru also means that we have a tendency to behave cheaply with anybody sometimes. That okay, he's giving something which I want, so he's my guru. Anybody who is giving me something which I don't want, he's not my guru. So it's like this, the world of cheaters and cheated. So
That
if you want to be cheated, then you will also get a guru who will come and cheat you. Monetary, emotionally, sexually, whatever. That's just a detail. But if you are sincere that I want to really go to God, then this proverb is, when the student is ready, the master appears. So then this is the time to find the right gurus, and to find people who can actually enlighten, and there's a great potential for that thing to happen. If we are sincere in our efforts, the desire is required that I want to go and find the right person, then this will definitely happen.
Babaji, let me ask you a philosophical question. How do you know that an Asurya is an Asurya if he's wearing a Deva's clothes?
Well, that's a very difficult question to answer. Now, how to find a right guru?
And I mention this because Rahu, he impersonate as Deva so he can drink the Amritam.
Yes.
You're exactly correct. It begs this great question. What is a Deva versus an Asurya? And how do you know that a true Deva, a true guru, is not truly deep down an Asurya, has its own selfish materialistic goals?
Yes. So how do we know this is that? Because you can take the example of Putana only, na? What happened when everything was fine? Then she was putting the covering, right? That she's a very beautiful lady. She's from the heavens. But when there is a difficulty, then her original form came out. So you will always see that if you are taking inspiration from somebody at the level of a Diksha Guru, then you can check their track record. First of all, track record means how they have been in their past, and more important than that is because they can run into some fake scandal or something, so we keep that aside. But more important than seeing their track record is to see those people whose hearts he or she has transformed. You can see those people. that okay, these people are following him for many 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 years and their lives have been transformed. That means there is some substance in this person. Now that person may not be 100% perfect, that may not be
Nobody
necessary.
is. Nobody
Yes,
is.
but if we see that that person has transformed the hearts of so many people, like for example in my case, when I went to South India in 2010, so many of my friends, we had so many bad habits. I used to eat so much meat, and there's so many people used to eat alcohol. But then later on, when we met our spiritual gurus and guides, then all of the things, they were vanished completely. So what in that guru, what we can see is how much dedicated he is to his own spiritual practices. And there's a very simple way to judge this, I mean, you have to see how addicted to god he is. Our asura is addicted to vices, like Ravana, for example. He likes the wife of Lord Ram, so he says, oh, I'm going to take her. you know I want Rambha, so I will go and rape her. He does that, in the heavens. I want Vedvati, I will take her. So basically what Ravana is doing, he's addicted to sex basically. But on the other hand, if a guru is genuine, he will be addicted to God. And how do you know somebody is addicted to something? He will always be speaking about that thing, right? He will always be doing anything in that line. So if he is addicted to God, you will see 24 hours he is speaking about God. 24 means not literally, but you will get that feeling that yes, he is very much addicted, and his actions will reveal that.
Can
And
I?
at a external level, you have to see which are the people he has already transformed. And if you and you can ask them that what is your experience, how you were before meeting him and how you are after meeting him. That's like the barometer. And apart from that, you have to use your own intelligence and pray to god. So this is how I think we can find somebody. In
Beautiful.
my limited experience, this is how I have experienced.
Beautiful. That I like. They say the proof is in the pudding. You have to learn from the disciples'
Exactly.
lineage to know their experience. That's beautiful. Everything
Exactly.
you said 100% resonate with me, and it's good instruction for anyone who is trying to separate and find someone who can truly help them through their spiritual evolution and karma. And
Yeah, because people say that, oh, all the gurus are fake. But what I say is, that one of my gurus, he gave an example. Whenever you say that this is a fake currency note, suppose I give you a US dollar and you touch it and you know this is fake. What is the meaning of that? It means that somewhere in the universe there is a original dollar note, right?
yes, exactly. That is
That note has to be there. Otherwise, how do you know this is fake? There is no distinction then. What is real, what is fake? So whenever you find that there is something fake, then that means there is an indication that somewhere in the universe that is there. And now the question is, how do we find? In my experience, what I have learned myself and what my gurus have told me is, you just need one thing in spiritual life. Nothing else you need, You don't need mantras, you don't need books, you don't need even gurus, nothing you need. Only one thing you need, that is desire. If you have sincere desire in your heart, god will put you in a place. And I'm not just bluffing this. This is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. This story of Dhruva Maharaj is there. Dhruva Maharaj, he goes out to the forest because his stepmother insults him by saying that you get down from the lap of your father. You are not born from my womb. Her name was Suruchi. Suruchi told him that you have to take birth from my womb if you want to sit in your father's lap. But you have taken birth from Suniti. She is an inferior lady. All right, I don't know why she used to consider her inferior. So then Dhruva Maharaj was angry. And then he went to his mother Suniti and he asked, tell me, how can I get a kingdom greater than my father? But greater than his father was Uttanapad, and Uttanapad, his ancestor was directly Lord Brahma. So Dhruva Maharaj said, I want a kingdom which is greater than Lord Brahma, who is the creator of the entire this Brahmanda. How do you get a kingdom greater than Lord Brahma? And then Suniti told him that you have to go to the forest and then you have to meditate, and then Lord Vishnu can fulfill your desire. And when Suniti gave him this instruction. He went to the forest and he was just looking. And then Lord Vishnu directs Narad Muni that you go and tell him what to do. And Narad Muni comes and tells, chant this mantra, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then within 6 months, he sees Lord Vishnu. So because he had the desire, that is why Narad Muni was sent by God. This is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I don't need to say anything. All right. Anything else you would like to share?
No, I hope everyone who had a chance to watch Bhabajeet and I discuss the transit, its influence on our spiritual evolution, relationship with the Guru. Just my last little bit is that we never approach Jyotish with fear.
Yes.
That we remember that even though these forces are powerful, and that means we respect them, we love them, we show devotion to them, but that does not mean that we fear them. And may the grace of the Guru always guide and protect.
Amazing, wonderful. Thank you very much for coming and sharing. I guess it was an amazing time. So we will get back soon. And you also do readings, I guess.
Yes, I do readings, and my website is jotishastrology.org, YouTube, Kṣaṇāti Jyotish. So I'll be posting this video up there, and Bhabajeet will be posting this as well. And he's going to be busy for some time, but we're going to do some future collaborations as well. So this is just a start of things to come.
Yes, definitely. Wonderful, amazing. All right, then. Thank you very much for coming to Exotic Astrology first time, and we will do more and more and more collabs. Okay. Thank you very much. Namaste.